Before I get started, I want to give a shout out to all the contributors of my Patreon channel. Your support is necessary, and without you, none of this is possible. And if you'd also like to support the channel directly, Cash App and PayPal are available. Just be sure to let me know in the For section if it's okay for me to thank you publicly, or else I'll assume you'll want to remain anonymous.
And here we go.
Layman's Journal, Chapter 249. I'm sure you've heard by now of Detroit rapper Dank DeMoss, also known as Big Dank, and the current controversy she's in with Lyft.
What?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
What? For what? What you saying?
Yeah, I got no space in my car is small.
I can fit in this car.
But believe me, you can.
Yes, I can.
Believe me. So, I'm sorry.
What I'm gonna do about my money?
I'm gonna cancel you. You're not gonna be charged.
So you telling me I can't get in the Lyft because I can't fit in your car?
Yeah, you need to order a bigger car.
What makes you think I can't fit in the car?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
What makes you think I can't fit in this car?
Because the car is small in the back.
My best friend has a Benz that's newer than this that I can fit in. That's the same size.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't.
So you really telling me I'm too big to get in your car, so I gotta order another Lyft?
Yeah. And to be more specific with you, I got very tired tires.
What I got to do with your tires?
Yeah, and you have no space.
How you know I don't have no space?
Yeah, I got no space in the back. Please.
How do you know I don't have no space?
Because I've tried before.
Huh?
Because I've been in this situation.
So every big person you turn down because they can't fit in your car?
Yeah, because they need to order the Uber XL.
No, I don't never have to order Uber XL.
You know, I'm really sorry.
What's your name?
Abraham Travis.
Okay. Nope.
And as a result, she's suing the company on the basis of discrimination.
They're fuming after a Lyft driver allegedly denied her a ride because of her size. And Fox News' Jessica Dupnack is live in Detroit with this story. And my goodness, tell us how this all unfolded here, Jessica.
Well, it all unfolded on video. Deja Banlane whipped out her phone when this all happened. Now, the Lyft driver, he was kind enough and apologetic, but refused her a ride and said that she would not fit and that her weight couldn't be handled by his tires. Now she's filing a lawsuit.
Have you been in cars that size before?
Yes, I have. I've been in cars smarter than that, you know.
Deja Blanding tells us she was just trying to get to a Detroit Lions watch party this month when her Lyft rolled up.
As I'm walking, I see him like making faces or whatever. I'm like, oh man.
She already knew.
The kicker part was when he started to talk about his tires. You know, I feel like that was a slap in the face. That was like my tires, you know, like.
The driver said his tires could not handle her weight. He apologized, canceled the ride, and left her there. The rapper says she's pretty tough. Dank DeMoss, as she's known at the mic, is crushed by the whole situation.
I just want them to know, like, it really hurt my feelings.
It looks like Lyft might be hurting pretty soon, too.
I knew it was illegal and I knew that it was wrong.
Her attorneys, John Marco and Zach Runyon, say weight is a protected characteristic in Michigan by law.
It would be no different than a driver pulling up and saying, you know, I don't want to have black people in my car, or I don't want to have Christians in my car, or Muslims in my car. It's the same. Under the law, it's the same.
But some legal experts say she doesn't have a case.
How big is she? Well, oh goodness.
That's not discrimination. That's like
For being fat?
Yeah.
No?
It's not a protected class.
Wow.
Not a protected class. So they could get sued if they didn't let her in because she's black. That would be racial discrimination. But if she's big, being big is not a protected class. So it's like your race, religion, gender, that kind of thing. They don't have to give you a ride. Yeah, she doesn't have a claim. No claim. It just seems like a money grab and some attempt at getting some sort of attention. She doesn't have a car? She should walk.
But recently she did an interview with The Breakfast Club where she said some interesting things, and we're going to talk about it. So, let's get it.
It's the only seat y'all got?
What you want? What you need?
A bigger chair or something.
Is she already little? Sure.
We had
That's what I'm talking about. Good, this is the accommodation.
So right off the bat, she asks for a bigger chair, and they bring her a sectional. But this is how Big Dank thinks the world should work. She thinks everyone should accommodate her unique size, disregarding the fact that she's a 489-pound woman. Keep that in mind as we go forward, because we're going to come back to this. Continuing.
You know, you walked in and, you know, you said the chair was too small, so we had to bring the part of the sectional for you to sit in. And you said something. You said, now this is what I'm talking about, accommodations, right?
Yes.
But we live in a world that's not always going to be able to accommodate people that are
But we
plus
should,
size.
though. We should, because we not all the same.
So right away, we know she's not well thought out on the issue. She says, we should accommodate all people because we're not all the same. No, that's exactly why we can't accommodate all people. Because there are 8 billion people on the planet, 400 million just in the US alone. It's impossible to accommodate everyone. The best you can do is try to come up with a one-size-fits-all policy, meaning you base your infrastructure on what's common. Continuing.
I feel like a lot of times people think that bigger people, obese, the F word people should just be in a house. When it's like,
The
we
F
not.
word?
Yeah, the F word. I'm not
You heard that you can't say in your house,
Yeah.
fat. You know, like.
Oh!
I'm not saying that word.
Yeah, we don't need to.
Now, Big Dank comes off as a sweet person in this interview, but she's delusional. Not only does she, at 489 pounds, think that she should be accommodated by everyone, but she wants to treat the word fat as hate speech, as if we don't have enough protected groups in this country already. Back to the video.
Well, people
Why
would
you
say,
out here?
okay, Joe.
Who actually told you that? Because, like, that's crazy. I don't believe that, you know, F people should stay in the house. I mean.
And did you catch that? F people. Jess Hilarious just proved how fast you can train a moron. Again, treating the word fat like it's a 4-letter slur is absurd, but Jess doesn't even question it. She immediately falls in line. Now, I get not being rude to the guest as a host, but that's an absurd request. But it's interesting because she didn't have this level of respect for TK Kirkland.
Have your own family. You'll feel better. When you're raising another man's child, that's mental illness.
Have you ever tried to do that?
That's crazy. I've done that. It's really one of the worst things you can do.
Raising another man's child is mental illness.
It's mental illness.
Explain,
Because
please.
you're raising something that don't belong to you. That's some horrible shit to pretend. That's like a gay man who wants to be a woman or a woman who wants to be a man. You're pretending to be something that's not natural.
And that offended her because Jess is or was a single mother. I believe she's married or engaged now. But the moment he walked in the door, she was hot.
You'll one day say TK Kirkland was right.
Well, how long do you have to live to feel like you have a mental illness if you try to be a stepfather to somebody's kid?
I always tell people, listen to the story. Don't put yourself in the story. What people do when they hear my stories, they put themselves in the story, and then they become a victim. And then you become a victim, and you attack me because you think I'm talking about you. But I never mentioned nobody's name.
So they want you to be enraged so they can engage everybody on social media. That's how they get people going.
Right. Yeah, because I don't know you. I'm just speaking for...
I don't give a damn. You said that it is a completely unnatural thing. Like you are pretending to be something that you're not.
But that is true, though. When you go touch another man's child...
That's what I said.
And keep in mind, Kirkland is a 65-year-old man, a man more than twice her age. A man who's been in the showbiz game for longer than she's been alive, so he could teach her a few things. But she had no issue talking to him as if he was her peer or her son. It speaks to how women like her see men as beneath them. Resuming.
Like I said, I've been doing this a long time. And when I said I've been doing this a long time, I've been putting on for people like me for a long time. I did a naked, excuse me. I did a naked photo shoot in 2017.
A naked photo shoot? Now, I don't know how it is she could say something like that, and everyone just sits there, like she didn't say something crazy. If I were there, I would have had a reaction. It may not have been the nicest reaction, but it would have been anything other than acting like she didn't say what she just did.
Me and my cousins, we go to the gym. I got a gym at my house. I go to the gym.
Now, I'm not going to go as far as to say that she's a liar, But this is another thing that uniquely big people love to tell you. They like to say that they go to the gym on a regular basis. Again, keep this in mind as we go forward because we're going to come back to this.
And I'm sure doctors have told you, like, you need to probably lose weight for health reasons.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course. But the funny thing is, every time I go to the hospital and I get tests ran, it's like there's nothing. Like, as far as high cholesterol, like the typical what people think.
No cardiovascular
issues, no breathing issues. Even though my dad died from a heart attack, it runs in his family, stuff like that. Blood issues run in our family, but I never, but thyroid.
They're giving you the wrong
testing.
Okay, so earlier she claimed that she worked out on a regular basis. And now she claims she has no health issues, no high blood pressure, cholesterol, not even sleep apnea. But she does mention her thyroid. Again, this is another narrative that big folks like to tell. They want you to believe they're healthy. Their situation is genetic and beyond their control because they work out and they have no health issues, allegedly, except for a thyroid, which is difficult to control. That what they are right now is natural.
And you said you got an OnlyFans?
I do.
Good grief. That's right, she has an OnlyFans. Now, I was floored when I first heard that, but there are a lot of weirdos out there. Dudes who like fat women. I see it all the time on social media. Chicks as big as she is posting thirst traps, with weird guys gassing them up in the comments section. And I bet you she's cleaning up financially, that she's got all kinds of weirdos in her inbox, and sending her money, especially now. After that, the conversation then shifts back to her health.
It's like, I don't even want to get skinny. I just want to get comfortable. I want to get to a place where it's like, I got nephews. I take them to the park. It's like they running off. It's like, damn, bro, like, why you doing that? Yeah, like I'm tired. TT tired, baby. TT is tired. Like, you can't
because
do
one
that.
thing about it, skinny don't always mean healthy either.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
What the fuck are you talking about?
Cut the bullshit, Jess. No, skinny isn't always healthy, but morbidly obese never is.
And I think it's dope that you are actively trying to lose weight, because I think a lot of times what people do is they try to act like, being plus size is okay. And I'm not saying it's not okay, but that you can do better is what I'm trying to say.
And that's the thing. Like, I'm not advertising staying obese, staying big, staying up, BBW. I'm not advertising that.
Now, I'll give her credit for that. While I don't agree with her lawsuit, she doesn't come across as a fat advocate, in the sense that she doesn't think that being fat is okay. She just thinks that the world should accommodate her, and that's where I disagree. Because the world doesn't run on our circumstances. It doesn't adjust to us, we have to adjust to it. Be we big, tall, short, or fat. And I'm gonna let that be my closing thoughts. She's not as obnoxious as I thought she'd be. To the contrary, I think she's a likable person. That's why I didn't feel the need to roast her. But her ideas are misguided, and her lawsuit is BS. Now, from what I understand, weight is a protected class in the state of Michigan, but that's not something that will stand up in a federal court. And I hope Lyft, for that reason, doesn't cave or settle, because that will set a dangerous precedent, and this is something they could win. The only question is it worth their legal costs? Because it might be cheaper to settle, which is unfortunate. But before I go, I recently did a breakdown of the film In the Bedroom that is streaming exclusively on Patreon. Here's a preview. Laymans Journal Chapter 247. My grandmother was a single mother. Actually, both of my grandmothers were single mothers. But focusing on my maternal grandma, her firstborn child, my aunt, was not my grandfather's daughter. Now, we don't know much about my aunt's father, only that he wasn't around when my aunt was born. And that was common back in the day. Men who sired children and refused to stay at home to help raise them were viewed as the scum of the earth and would often leave town to avoid shame. But it didn't take long for her to meet and marry my grandfather. You see, Black men back in the day had no issue becoming stepdads, and that was a tradition that carried on through the boomer and X generations. But this younger generation of men, millennials, zennials, and Gen Zs, are no longer accepting that role for multiple reasons. I repeat, multiple reasons. And one of the main reasons why men of all races are no longer willing to be stepdads is because of the biological father. My grandfather was willing to be my aunt's stepdad because he didn't have to contend with her father, and that was beneficial to my granddad for several reasons. One, it allowed him to be an authoritarian in her life, meaning he didn't have to seek her father's permission in order to be her parent. But most importantly, he didn't have to worry about her dad coming back around, trying to get his family back. He was completely out of the picture, which allowed my grandparents to build a life together. But that tradition is gone now. Not only is the out-of-wedlock birth rate higher in the Black community than it was back then, but the social stigma of refusing to help raise a child doesn't exist today as it did back then. Back in the day, a man couldn't show his face if he wasn't there for his kid. Now that dude can walk around without judgment. But more importantly, he still has access to his baby mama, which oftentimes makes things difficult for the new man in her life. Now, I want to be careful discussing this issue because I'm not arguing that a man shouldn't be in his child's life or that a woman should have sole custodial rights, allowing her to alienate the child from the father. What I am saying is, being a stepdad in today's age means having to deal with the child's father. And that's problematic because most single mothers, not all, but a great majority of them are chronic bad decision makers. They choose the worst men, dangerous men to be the father of their children. And as a man seeking a relationship with a single mother, you don't often know what you're getting into. And while I have never seriously pursued a relationship with a single mother, I have many friends and family members who have. And I can tell you plenty of stories about the bad experiences they've had. And it doesn't matter what type of woman you're dealing with. Single mothers of all socioeconomic backgrounds can have crazy baby daddies. But my point is, craziness isn't exclusive to or exempt from a particular social class, and the film In the Bedroom is a prime example of that. It's the story of a young man, a college student, who gets involved with an older single mother of two. That results in fatal consequences. Again, that's patreon.com/Laymans Journal. And that's it. That's all I have to say about it. What do you have to say about it? Leave a comment in the comment section and let's have a conversation.
How am I spending my Friday? Some jerk chicken with rice seasoned, red beans and some bread. Got some red wine over here. And I'm watching Layman's Journal on YouTube. Shout out to the brother Layman. Check him out. I'll leave the link in the description. It's your boy Calvin King. And this is how I'm enjoying my Friday.